live now. I'm gonna jump us over here.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, team.
Wait, how do I show everybody my pants?
You gotta put
you
the
stand up
camera
and wiggle
on
a
your
little
pants.
bit.
Yeah.
When there are people in this chat room, believe me, I have the best pants.
Alright, I
It's
got
true.
rid of an extra Dana.
We've been waiting a long time for you to be able to wear these, specifically for this stream.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had them for a long time. I've worn them on the stream before, but never at the right moment. And now that I'm back in Connecticut and I can have access to my own wardrobe, I am rocking these pants.
Nice. Alright, Karen, it's 9. Are you ready for me to go into this thing?
Go, let's do it. Are people here? Do we have folks online?
It says 7.
Yeah, we're set.
Hello?
To boldly go.
Alright. By to boldly go, you mean to use a butt ton of save states.
Yes.
Because this is hard in here.
That's as bold as it gets sometimes in these early games. I'm just cutting up mail in case anyone's like, "What are you doing?"
You're good.
Because I like to shred crap with our address on it.
Yeah, I literally just did all of that catching up from being gone. And now I'm in the process of, like, one of the nice things with my mom moving is that I'm getting a lot of her stuff, including a bunch of really good CDs, which surprised me. They're an odd bunch, but I am in the process of burning them all.
Nice.
My own collection.
1998 style.
Well, I mean, everything I have gets digitized, right?
Yeah.
So.
But I like to have burned CDs in my car.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not burning them. I'm sorry, I'm ripping them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I am in the process of converting them to MP3s.
Hi, Spoony Bard. We are going to finish it tonight, and it's going to be great.
Yes, we will.
Oh, Spoon Bard! This was one of the few games in my youth that I finished regularly.
Alright, so I'm told if I don't want an elixir, I don't have to take the top path here. I'm gonna live without because I got save states. Save states are the best. All I have to do...
I don't know what this game would have been for me if I had had save states. Hours and weeks of agony.
Games are just structured so differently now. It's like...
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think a lot of games are designed to have that long of a struggle.
No. But I mean, like, that was the whole thing about... This is one of those, like, groundbreaking games in that you could have a mantra that would get you, like, you could save the game.
Right.
Which was amazing. And so you could, like, struggle with it. Especially since some of the, the response time isn't always exactly as you'd want, and it's a little awkward in places. You need to be able to pause and come back.
Yeah, for sure.
I only trust Dana to feed me fish. Oh yeah, and getting that magic shield when you can get it on the cheap. Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Why isn't the IRC chat showing on the stream?
I don't know.
Let's fix that. Hold on, team.
And we all know the reason that Julianne only trusts me, right?
I don't understand the fish. Why?
Final Fantasy VI, because I had never failed in the fish task.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And thus never saw that cutscene until we played. I'm just too good at catching yummy fish.
Well, may they be curative.
Alright, let's hope that is legible. Hey, look, I can see Julianne now. That's awesome.
What kind of fish am I getting for you, Julianne? That's the question.
Alright, now...
Every fish in Stardew Valley.
Oh, I don't know. I still haven't caught all of it.
A lava fish. Come on, you need the lava eel.
I think I have that one. I don't have legends, though.
I haven't caught the legend.
To be honest, I haven't really tried that hard.
No, you haven't either. I don't care.
That's kind
it's
of
just not a thing.
Low on my to-do. I did finally finish the Skull Cavern, though.
Oh, yay!
That one, again, I just hadn't really been putting as much energy into it, so I was really excited to get that over with.
Indeed.
We have a lot of group guys. I'm imagining I could talk. I feel like anything that comes up...
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, fine.
I would just Google anyway, right?
Alright. sorry for the save state stuff. This game and gravity is very weird. This has Mega Man 1 gravity. If you walk off the platform, you instantly fall infinite distance.
Yep. I love this
sleepover game.
Always one of my favorites. Oh, I don't know that anybody tagged her. We found Jun Shikuma's on Twitter. I'm sure a lot of people may already be following her, but for some reason this was new to me today, and I didn't realize, and I don't understand how it was that I was not following Jun Shikuma, of all people.
Yeah.
I adore her. Oh.
You can just fangirl all over that Twitter.
I am
fangirl. So good.
I fangirl so hard, and I was just saying, I was like, I really need to go back, because I know this soundtrack so well, but I don't know the Bomberman ones nearly as well, and I'd really like to go spend some time with them. Jun Shikuma, wherever you are, I hope you appreciate my pants.
Wait, have you shown them off yet?
I have not.
Hold on, I need to beat this boss without getting hit.
Okay, never mind.
I feel like we should full screen you for this moment.
let Ryan beat this delightful bouncing torso, and...
Oh, no.
I love how you can kind of see behind me how much greenery is starting to overtake my office.
I need some greenery up in here. I have plants, but I need more of them.
These are wedding bouquets.
Nice. Ryan, use your magic.
I should be able to sword stick him if I use the magic. Remember, I never bought any new magic. It's still super weak.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna regret that maybe later.
But you follow guides and stuff, so who knows?
Yeah, see, this is how it's done.
Bosses,
see,
you can totally
you can just stick him in the corner forever like this.
Pretty much.
Oh man, Julianne did tag her, so you know.
Yeah. Got the black.
It's in the morning. It's in the morning.
Alright, I can now get the hell out of here.
Alright, can I show off my pants?
Yes. Show off your pants.
Alright. Can you all, I don't know, how do I... Hold on.
You have to light your lower half.
I think you need slightly better lighting.
Okay, hold on. Where's my phone? Do I have the ability to have a flashlight? I don't know if I have a flashlight on my phone.
Yes, pants time.
Oh dear. I don't have a flashlight on my phone.
Pants.
That's not working.
I'm gonna make my way out of this tower while Karen shows off her pants.
You do that, and I'm working on the flashlight business.
I love everything about this, by the way.
What about that weird lamp?
My weird lamp? Aw.
Your weird lamp. Can't you, like, shine it over?
This one? I can't move that one. Hold on, though. I got you coming. Come to me, flashlight of glory.
Flashlights from the realms of glory.
Does that work? Can you see?
Yeah, there it is. So you will see it's Faxanadu.
My Faxanadu pants.
Yes.
Faxanadu.
And it says, "Don't have negative thoughts. Remember your mantra." And I wear them to yoga.
Yes.
What?
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I didn't remember that part.
Yeah, they do. And they have, look, there's the little... Here they are.
Ooh, this is the last guy I have to get past, and then we can be done with this horrific dungeon.
And it's finally the right time to wear them. I mean, it's always the right time to wear them, but it's particularly apt.
It pretty much is. I mean, it's not only the right day because of the game and the stream, but it's also cool enough, weather-wise, that wearing long, skin-tight pants is not a total obscenity at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love these pants. Thank you, Redbubble. I will put I'll put a link in the chat.
We certainly talk about their stuff enough that I feel like they should sponsor.
They should sponsor.
Could we totally get them to sponsor?
Like, I would be happy with just, like, I don't know, a shirt every other month.
1, 2,
every month?
3,
that would be great.
4.
That's all I really need in this film. I could get everything on my wish list. I should have put
Karen's pants on the center. I was trying to do something really hard in the game.
No, it's alright. It's totally good.
Basically the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Nintendo hard game in places.
Yes.
I think I could actually get away with dying here and be okay. Because I have to go back, like, 7 screens anyway. But at this point, it's like pride for me. I just don't want to do it.
I'm almost done with my mail pile. I'm not trying to ignore everybody.
I get it. You got needs.
Yeah, it was just like, it was starting to kind of pile up on my floor of my office. I don't really have a better spot for it, because everything else in this office is wedding stuff, so...
No, I am worried.
Do not have negative thought, Ryan.
I am gonna have some negative thoughts about this. Yeah, very negative thoughts. Okay, he's to my... You can't dodge that first hit, that's the catch. Okay. In that case, we're just gonna leave.
Okay. I have like a whole pile of junk that is purely for me to stain glass on. It's like those circular ads, so that's gonna go in the bin where I keep the stained glass stuff.
Nice. Look at me not dying. I'm the best at not dying. Taking Karen's advice, using some magic.
Yep.
Saving so I don't lose like a schmuck.
I mean, if you can get just saving up enough gold and buy the death magic, that'll be... That's...
I want to get the jet engine item. What's that?
Wow. That is insanely loud.
It turns out that these guys drop a ton of health, so...
Yeah. Yeah, the big squiddy things are good to farm for bread, as you put it earlier.
Yeah. Dana, was that your vacuum?
No.
Is that your shredder?
No.
I didn't do anything loud and engine-y. Who did?
Was not here. That was...
I set stuff in a pile.
I don't know, something was incredibly loud for a minute.
It sounded like a vacuum, legit.
I thought it was the shredder, because Zayna said she was doing mail.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, that's in another room.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's never happened before, maybe it won't happen again.
Agreed.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, everyone was like, no, please, what's going on? Don't do that again.
I honestly think that listening to this soundtrack and others were the reason that I did so well in early music theory. Like lower level music theory class.
Haha.
Yeah, not early music theory, that's different.
No, I mean, I meant, like, in the lower level, you know, 100 and 200 level music theory classes. Just
Right.
thinking about harmonic progressions and...
I fell too far. I need to go... I can't tell which way. This is town again, okay.
Those squids are so weird looking.
You know what, since I fell back to town, I think I can buy a pair of wing boots here.
Woo!
I'll do that.
I have a transcription of this one.
Oh, rats.
Do we want to, like... I don't know. What's the plan for actually going over some of the transcriptions? Did we want to do that later? Like, after we're done?
I don't know. I'm down with just about anything. How do you guys want to do it?
I don't know. Up to you, Karen. Do you think we should just barrel through and then go back and hit some spots?
I mean, we totally can. If it would detract from the gameplay to pull up the transcriptions, I think, given what we went through last week, we want to make sure we actually finish the game tonight.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Because I have no problem with revisiting some of the tracks that we heard last time, as well as today.
Because
Okay, we'll do that.
I wasn't, I mean, this isn't, like, my job, but, so I only did, like, 7 of the tracks.
Yeah.
But I did do some transcriptions, because it's been a while since we've had me annoy everybody with my transcriptions.
No, it's just
Annoy is
fine.
not the right word. You're awesome.
Yeah. But I am super pumped to get to some of the tracks that we haven't heard yet, just because they are gonna be really, really valuable for us talking about her use of the noise channel or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And that sweet final theme is so awesome. And
we're
the
very
use of like
close,
the reverb.
actually, to the end, believe it or not.
Right now we're getting the reverb.
There's this track, and then there's that one in the castle, the ending castle, that it's all reverby. But in a different way. Well,
it's a really excellent chocolate bar.
Nice.
It's like a chocolate-covered strawberry one, so it's got like strawberry in it. Very good.
I decided to go for the gin and tonic with some of the cucumber lime stuff that I bought at.
Oh yeah,
that's
good stuff.
Very good. Yeah. How do you like the rose?
It's good. It's very sippable on its own, but it's also very good added to stuff.
Nice.
Particularly gin. I might do that after I finish what I'm sipping on.
And I think I remember you liking the cucumber lime when you tried it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we made, I guess it was gin and tonics with those, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sorry I fell farther than I wanted to, by the way.
We all get along pretty well in terms of our drink tastes, because we all tend to like whiskey and bourbon. I think we're all gin drinkers, right? All four of us?
Yeah, and you're not
I'm a
so
little
much
less
the
than
beer.
you guys.
Yeah, I don't do the beer.
But you like Duchess, and that's really all that counts.
I do like Duchess. I've only had it a couple times, but it's one of the few that I've ever been able to finish. It's very rich, though. Like, it is... Sometimes the whole thing of it feels like a little too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But it's so good. I don't see Joe appreciating that, or am I wrong?
Well, he likes regular beer more than I do. Like, he actually got a tequila barrel-aged one that he was pretty into. I've seen him get it a couple times now. He doesn't like IPAs, though, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for his beer tastes.
Means he has good beer taste.
I'm not a big IPA person, so that means that he's correct.
Right. Yeah, like, I know that's kind of like a heavy flavor, right? IPAs?
Yeah, it's a very hoppy
like it's a heavy flavor. It's very hoppy. It can be very bitter.
Oh, okay.
These guys, these little creatures right here that we're gonna see.
Yeah.
They're terrible. I hate them.
Yeah, we're gonna do something about them here.
Kill them quick.
Right.
Or, I mean, it would be cool to let everybody else see what they do, but you don't also want to...
They flash the screen, and you take damage anywhere, is what they do.
Yeah, they're like, what is their name? They're like prayers. Like deacons or something. There's some religious...
Deacons?
They're praying. And they, like, and they, like, call down the wrath of the heavens, and you get an electric shock.
So they give terrible homilies, is what you're saying? That's deacons in real life.
Alright, we have the ace key.
Deacon homilies don't always suck, but...
Alright, Karen, are you ready for the next tune?
A little cheesy.
I'm ready. Bring it.
Hey, are you always disarmed in the, shops?
Yes.
That's fun, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you never have anything on. Or, like, none of your weapons on.
Alright, we have everything we need. We need 2 king keys. And here's the ace key to get in here.
I've used key.
And here we get a new theme, and listen to this noise channel again. But it's these chromatic arpeggios in this theme that are so sweet.
You're gonna get a minute, because I want to kill this thing at a sheer spot.
Wait, am I listening to noise or triangle?
I love the percussion in this, the noise channel, but I also love her chromaticism and the way these arpeggios are layered.
Yeah.
Ooh, I liked that
she
bit.
does this throughout the soundtrack, where she'll just have like a little flourishing moment. It'll just jump into 16ths.
Yeah, but they're so, those little flourishy moments are so wackily chromaticized. Like, they're so rich. This whole soundtrack is so... sonorous. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This area is long, though. I'm gonna start to progress while we keep chatting.
No, by all means, because, yeah, This was a pain in the butt as a kid because you can't see behind these things, so you don't know if there's an enemy hiding or like what.
Yes. In fact, I have something to share with you about that you may not know.
Yeah, Julianne, you're exactly right. The noise channel it's not just a backbeat. That's one of the things I'd love to talk about with regard to her work here, is that the noise channel plays such an active role in the texture, and it's not just a little, like, oompa beat keep.
So, I'm gonna clear this room 4 times. That was 1.
Yep.
There's 2.
That little moment is so good.
See, this ointment spawns behind this pillar, and as a result, you can't tell if it spawns. You have to manually check it every time. Alright. Pause for just a second.
And Julianne, it did loop.
When I get to the spot, I'm going to the right.
Yeah, it's great for this point because you have to touch that poison. There's no way to jump over it.
Nope. You're just boned. Alright.
No more ointment.
Oh, so let's talk about Dr. Olson's point here, because he's right. And part of it is the duty cycles on the waveforms sound very Sega Master System-ish right now, the timbre. But part of it is that traditionally the Sega compositions have basses that slap, and this bass is moving around in a way that is unusual for NES games of the time. Dana, I don't hear you.
Oh, is Dana talking?
Yeah, she was. She was disagreeing
I don't
with me,
hear her either.
and I wanted to make sure she was able to disagree with me. So,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you now.
There you go.
Okay, I don't know what it was. So if I get your argument correctly, you're saying active bassline is unusual for NES?
No, I'm saying the number one thing is timbre, why it sounds like a Sega Master System right now.
Right.
The duty cycles
Okay.
on the waveforms sound like what the Master System can do.
Okay, I misheard apparently
I also said a reliance on the bass line as opposed to, like, we're supposed to be hearing the melody and the bass line supports it. I feel like that is more common on the NES because you can't control the volume of the triangle wave. And so usually we rely on the square waves and the triangle wave is something underneath it. It moves around a lot, but it's not as prominent as it is here in a lot of stuff.
You're talking about volume.
I am, yeah.
It's just the phrase "rely on" that's throwing me, because like everything that I tend to work on in NES has some pretty prominent, interesting, active bass lines that are doing a lot in the texture. So I think I buy it if you're saying it's a volume thing because of the inability to raise the volume. But
I mean, the thing is, that's actually one of the things that she does so much. Like, you look at all of the Bomberman soundtracks and all of the other things, and she did a little Sega work, by the way. Jun Shikuma did, but like a lot of her stuff just features, like, it's just like she's very much focused on the bass line and she's very much focused on the percussion channel, but I think that's why I love what her melodic work does on top of all of that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, we'll get to some of these transcriptions later. You gotta stick with us. You have to put up with us.
That's
for
right.
This whole game.
Us and Mop King.
But what's so cool is, like, the harmonization between the pulse channels is pretty basic. You know, you're like, okay, you wrote this line, but the original line she writes is so chromatic that she has to do some interesting things in the second pulse channel to harmonize with it.
Yes.
Even though, like, the choice of harmonies themselves are pretty, like, third, sixth, you know, what you would expect. But there's a lot of just melodic motion that you don't expect. But about her noise channels, the thing that surprised me most in doing transcriptions, and as I say all the time, the reason I transcribe is because I learn a lot about the music and how it's put together. So I end up using it as like a tool to figure out what else I want to talk about when I'm doing a paper.
Yeah.
Her noise channels, very often, we're using the same pattern over and over and over and over and over. But then there would be like one measure at the end of the section where it was almost like a drum fill. She would like have like one that was a little bit different. And so most of the time when I'm doing NES, it's the same pattern. Like the Star Tropics score, you know, it would be like we'd get into a pattern and it would be every single measure for the whole song.
Yeah.
She has a little bit more variety, but it's very carefully placed.
Yeah.
Sorry for farming the health, by the way. This guy drops a lot of it. It's easy to do it here.
I don't mind.
You gotta do it.
I don't mind farming. I played a lot of Stardew Valley.
Right.
That's the joke that keeps coming up as I'm like showing off how beautiful my tomatoes are turning out. I mean, because I've had the deer cage around them, like they're pristine. They haven't been touched by any creatures. Because the deer cage latches shut, so like things can't get in.
Nice.
So I'll post these pictures and like everyone's like they look fake. But the other comments I keep getting are, well, of course your tomatoes look good. It's all that Stardew Valley paying off for you.
Yeah, I made that joke.
You did, Will did, my brother did.
Very nice. So, in annoying NES game, Trivia Land, the town I just came from has no key shop. You have to go all the way back to the bottom of that atonal space if you don't have the keys. Because the game hates you.
It does.
I remember that.
I like the green in this area.
Yeah.
My whole life is slowly turning green right now, so I'm all about it.
Ahaha, I did it. Wait, what do we got here?
Look at that guy.
Boys.
Their little, like, dance move. I gotta try that one at weddings. The shoulder shimmy.
Speaking of dance moves, you guys will be very happy to know that in the new 3D remake of Seiken Densetsu 3 that comes out in March, they have kept the shopkeeper animation dance.
Yes! Julianne's not here, but I know I guarantee she's doing it at home right now. See if she's gonna confirm the chat.
What up, Torso?
Angry torso.
Hold on, I'm gonna reload this again. I can do this. I can lock this guy down. I did it once. Jump. Stay. Stay.
This was a short loop, but I didn't transcribe it, because I had to do some actual work today. It was very easy.
Dana.
It was really easy to be like, well, I'm streaming it tonight. I'll just do another one of these.
Yeah.
But
so,
that...
You can't use this helmet, which is awesome.
You can't?
At least not yet.
Ever? Oh. That's
You
fun.
can use it later.
Right. It's part of a set, and you have to find the whole set.
Yep. You certainly do.
That boss...
But the stuff you get later is awesome.
Interesting stuff going on.
Right, for the record, that's why I have not bought new weapons or much armor, because this stuff I'm finding is the best stuff, and it's a ton of farming to find
the
not
magic,
the best
though.
stuff.
Oh, such a good melody.
Oh, I thought I had it. Look, I was so
expect it
close
to.
to jumping over that.
Yeah, no, you're never gonna. You're just not. You're always gonna touch it. You gotta touch it.
Gotta touch that poison!
Never
That'll
show
be a really good
but the
time
smile.
for me to locate. I'm sure it exists.
Here's the other king's key that I need.
Oh, this is problematic.
What, Dana?
I was looking for an 8-bit cover of Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe, and it was not popping up immediately.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Professor Shy Guy, here we go. There we go. There we go. That's what we needed. Willingly touching Poison.
I'll listen to it later. Obviously.
I didn't even have a particular one in mind, but the first thing that popped up was Alice Cooper Poison, which I'm like, listen, I love Alice Cooper, but clearly that's not the Poison I'm looking for.
No. Or the group Poison, which is
Right.
a fine choice, because every rose does have its thorn.
Our rock orchestra show for January with the high schoolers, we generally bring in a guest artist, often a cover band, specializing in a particular group. This year, we're bringing in a Journey cover band.
Ah.
Alright,
And
so
our...
I have to do something crazy here, it turns out. And that is...
It's pretty injury because of the...
There's a big scary hole here that looks like in NES You Will Die hole. You have to fall through it.
Yep.
Unless you have a third king key, which I do not.
And that Poison you actually can jump over, which is very nice.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. That's the door. So I need to go get... Age. Oh, nope, I don't. Ha ha ha, I can just leave. Hoorah.
I love that little...
It's so good! And this, like,
It
is
comes out of-
like I've been saying. Stole them.
Oh, someone sounds like a robot right now.
Is it me? Is it me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sound
it's
like
you.
a bird.
Why? What is happening?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
I didn't touch anything. Is it
No,
still
you're,
happening?
you're good now.
weird.
It was just a weird random thing.
I love how they dance.
Alright. Gotta go down first.
They're probably just like looking for people, but it looks like they're dancing.
It does.
Actually, it looks like they're dancing like the Peanut characters dance. It's a
little
Peanuts
bit.
dance.
Yeah, it totally looks like that.
Sprite work is again pleasing me. Important. We have to have amusing animations. Or what are we doing?
Red potion
So we
yourself. Oh
We
yeah.
have this like falling chromatic thing. But again, that bass line where you're like, it's chromatic, it's very unpredictably patterned.
Mhm.
Alright, so here's that armor to go along with the helmet.
Yep.
Like it sounds like it's just going na 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 na, but it's na 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 na. It's like
Mhm.
Yep.
just slidey right around our little semitones.
Can I get
I think that's why I've always liked it so much, is that it avoids, it sounds familiar, but it avoids this predictability that would make it trite.
Yeah.
And like when this stuff is gonna loop over and over again like it does, that very subtle change is so important, I think, to keeping the music enjoyable and
Agreed.
not as repetitive.
Yeah, this is just expert level, using chromaticism to sort of continually make you go, oh, interesting,
Right.
and sort of lose track of where you are. Like Julianne was like, where's the loop start over again?
Yeah.
There's not the most, actually that was a challenge too in doing some of the transcriptions, was figuring out how long it was
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
There's a lot of internal repetition. So it'd be like, okay, is this just a loop, or is there like a C section that's gonna come in after the entire thing loops again?
Right.
Which happened in the like overworld theme. They're just a terrifying like chicken man.
I don't know.
They've been here the whole time.
Chicken.
Those bad boys. It's like a ostrich skeleton thing.
Like in Star Tropics at the end. Skeletons freaked me out.
Hold on, I gotta load. That's too much health to lose. I can't afford that.
Magical rod!
Since it only put us 2 screens back, I don't feel... Since it only put us 2 screens back, I don't feel bad about that. Take 3.
So good.
Oh, rats, I don't have magic anymore because I picked up the magical rod.
That got rid of your magic?
Yes.
Huh.
If I rebuy it at this point, it's all stronger, but I don't have any anymore. What you have to do is inch up.
I'm gonna inchworm.
And eventually there's one frame, see where he's holding his sword out? Then you can swing and get him. Nintendo Hard. Alright.
It's a thing.
It is, in fact.
It's legit.
Alright.
That dude needs to just chill.
Yeah.
Die in a fire? Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just moving.
You've got no chill. Like, these guys got it? They're like, we're gonna duel with each other. Pew pew. It's not a sound a sword makes. Swords don't pew pew. Link. There we go.
No, I don't want
Yeah,
to
those little disappearing dudes are
Yeah,
pain
they
in
can
the butt.
suck it, is what they can do.
It's like a whiz robe,
Right?
Yes. But browner.
but browner. Like a whiz robe, but browner.
Right. This
As
area,
does.
it's a race. I have to get to this point so I can fight this guy without having to deal with him. Then I can go up. Now I'm a winner, I can go up.
Oh, come on now.
Ah,
Wing boots.
I'm holding
wing boots and I have no life.
I'll take that though, because I want extra wing boots for the last boss.
That's legit.
If I need health, there's a health enemy right below me, so I feel pretty comfortable with saving right here and going into this room. How are we looking? Wolfman I can deal with. Can I fool this dude into moving somewhere? Yes.
Nah. Be a little challenging. You got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
now
nice.
town, right?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
Well done. I love talking to all the NPCs. You don't get anything as good as I am error, but they're still pretty good.
Apparently there's a wicked good spell in this town. But it's 15,000 gold. We don't have that.
I just
No,
heard
you have, like,
being
no money.
being like, drawing meat. I don't know why.
No, I
Drawing
think that's
meat to
legit.
bring energy.
How am I doing on items?
Yeah, no, we had kind of
Good.
talked about that before, Spoony Bard, about how it's not pastoral.
No, not at all.
It's a really
No.
unusual town theme.
It's super, super weird.
It is weird. It tastes... Or, sorry, huh.
It
I am
tastes.
tasting my whiskey now.
Ooh.
It sounds... like dissonant, and I was trying to make an elegant comparison to this overly cinnamoned whiskey I made, but I failed because I've already had some.
Like, the town theme is it's not that it's overly chromatic, it's that it's how sparse it is.
Yes.
It's
There-
really sparse. It's not lush.
Just the
it's
3
not-
channels. 2 of them are just every other beat,
Yeah.
and then.
I mean, that's the shop theme, but the town theme itself.
Yeah, we're in the shop.
Yeah.
This is super sparse too, though.
I mean, this is the most sparse, yeah. But yeah, that's exactly right. It's so energetic. It feels like you should be geared up to engage in some kind of activity other than walking into these shops and hearing a different theme.
Go, but I don't remember what the town theme sounds like right now. You'll have to
Oh,
actually
let me-
stand outside for a second.
Yeah.
I have to go farm up 400 gold for one more
I mean,
key
Triangle
anyway.
Wave, as much as it gets maligned, as much as it gets relegated to bass most of the time, it does like a nice kind of flute sound in the higher register, so it ends up being melodic more often than
Yeah.
we tend to give it credit for.
Yeah, just farm this dude, but then can we just listen to the town theme for a second?
And of course, it's like
Yep.
flute. No, it's
Okay, I have enough. Back into town,
Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just listen to the town theme for a second for Dana.
Got it?
It's how heavy it is on the percussion,
Mhm.
and it's just
Yeah.
the one channel above, but then she doubles up here.
Fun little rhythm too.
But it's the space in it. But then how she layers it.
And
It's
here
the
it
fact that
finally
this,
fills in a little bit, right?
it does.
Yeah.
And if you keep listening to it, it's like she just keeps adding on to it.
Yeah.
She does that in a couple tracks in this, where it's like a slow build up to the layers.
But it's like even when you get to this final fleshed out version,
That's the loop,
If
it just
even if-
happened.
yeah. Like when you get to that last stage of the loop where it's all fleshed out, even then, if that were all the town theme was, it still wouldn't sound like a town theme.
No,
No.
it's not like diatonic, like moving stepwise
I mean, it is in those upper.
as
You know,
much.
it's all stepwise and in thirds, you know. There's just something different about it that there is not. It's not a town theme.
So I have to actually go back down to the previous town very quickly.
I mean, I don't know what else we would call upper level Triangle Wave when it's doing that. I think Karen Collins, I think, is the one that first put flute in my head in game sound. But it's Dr. Olson. That's always like a really good starting point. I mean, it's from 2007, so we've had it for a while at this point. But it's most of us use it as like
I don't
a
want to be that
classic
back.
text if we're teaching game sound.
Yeah, useful.
She's got some really useful chapters in there, just like breaking down the capabilities by generation of the different systems and how they made sound and how things get used. But then
Yeah.
she has some nice like functional taxonomy stuff for like how to classify different types of sounds in a soundscape. And, I like to pair it with Tim Summers' Understanding Game Music now that that's out.
Yeah, I haven't
That
read
makes
enough
sense.
of it to find it useful or not. But we're talking about the Karen Collins. You're talking about game sound, right?
Yeah, game sound, not the others.
Yeah, not playing with sound.
Yeah,
Right,
playing with
right.
sound is really interesting because she gets into all the, like, how the player receives it and cognition and stuff. I think it's a really interesting book, but it's not the game sound is the one, right? Like, needed to be written, and we're grateful that she did it.
It's very useful. I like it alongside Kenny McAlpine's Chiptunes book.
Yeah.
I am using game sound as the textbook for one of my classes this semester.
I've done it too. I usually pair it with, like, relevant readings.
If I were teaching more like Ryan's game history of games, which is well beyond my ken, I would be using something like Kenny's Chiptunes book. Like more than what I do. I really like that. I really like that text. I think it's solid.
Elbows resting on my copy of Game Sound.
So far, I am planning on using
Near my
Tim,
elbow.
in addition to Game Sound, a couple chapters of Tim Summers' book as
I
supplement.
love Tim Summers' book. I think
Down and
some of the
read it.
chapters are a little long for undergrad, so I have to excerpt a little bit from his, but he does such a beautiful job at the end of each chapter with his little, like, here's the things we've added to our analytical toolkit, and then he's got, like, the discussion questions, and it's like, he does the work for me.
Yeah.
Yes. He's great.
Yeah.
It's definitely a text now that we have it, because I keep in mind I didn't have it in time to incorporate it into my seminar this past spring, so I never spent much time with it. Now that we have it, it's definitely on my agenda to use more for the coming spring, but we also have other new materials like the RPG book and stuff, so...
I'm definitely using the RPG book as well, yes.
Well, the thing is, I finally got my copy, gosh, when I went into the office for the first time on yesterday? I think it might have even been yesterday, where I finally picked up all of my mail, or maybe it was Tuesday, and so I finally got my copy, and I haven't even had a chance to look at it yet, so I'm so excited to sit down and read it.
I'm just gonna, like, randomly do flybys.
Nice.
Yes.
I approve.
Feel free to open it to my chapter.
Oh, you mean the things I do for less?
Yeah.
Humor and subversion in the Bob's Tale.
I do like, as
Good
much
title.
as we've talked about the corny first half of the title, colon real title, I really like the fact that I got to use that phrase out of the game as my corny half of the title.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Less.
There we go. I was like, how close should I get? Good times.
Oh, we
And,
need a little bit
with
more
luck,
help. We can do that.
the Oxford Handbook on Music and Medievalism should be out within the next couple of weeks.
Very
months.
exciting.
It should be out before the end of the year. It's through with copy editing now, so it's just a question of how soon they get it into the press, I guess. But my chapter on Harry Potter video games is in that, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, I know.
You sent me a version of that.
Yeah, so it's only been
Exciting.
with them for 3 years, so I'm really excited that it'll finally get published.
Well, I'll give a drive-by here of all the chapters. Here's mine. Ooh, it's got a lot of these in it. I have 17 transcriptions in this chapter, and they had to ask for permission.
Okay, let's be very clear. I love dwarf.
Dwarf. It's dwarf.
Dwarf!
Dwarf. I also really loved, like, when I was a kid, I thought Dartmoor was a really cool name, but then it was when I started to finally get, like, information on colleges, and I learned of Dartmouth.
Oh, sure.
And it was have to be there.
It kept ringing a bell, like, Dartmoor.
There we go. There we go. Music and the Time of Video Games, which is such a good title, Julianne. Kudos.
That is so good.
I just can't wait. I know we had the proofs and all for such a long time, and I didn't really deal with them.
I didn't want to read
just-
it until I had the book, though.
I know! I want to read it cover to cover.
And then here's Ryan.
The only thing I was able to do was I could make a scan of my copy. Literally, the only thing that I have opened the book to do is make a scan of my chapter for my tenure dossier.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ryan's
Because I-
chapter makes, like, a really elegant point because it's a simple point, but it's just, like, so beautifully put together. And it's basically not just the fact that there's an opera in 6, but all of 6. All of SF6 is an opera. And it's...
I don't feel
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think-
my best musicology, but I think it's my best writing so far. chapter.
I mean, you're making a really interesting point that gets into the sound, but also outside the sound, and makes connections conceptually with an entire genre.
Yeah,
I think it's really useful.
I've been waiting for that one to come out. I've been pretty excited about it. There's a lot of these that I have already earmarked for the next time I teach a game class, which is hopefully next summer. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
The middle of my game audio class this semester, I'm definitely using some of y'all's work.
Yeah, I mean, I
that,
sort of thought I might be done forever, but I got a contract for spring, so.
I assigned my undergrads, just because I wanted to give them an easy first assignment, the Introduction to Game Sound. It's 5 pages long of Karen Collins' book. But they have to do a listening with me every day. And I'm gonna pull from Dana's Egypt chapter to talk about musical exoticism. With them. And their listening for the day, I don't know if any of them are listening, actually. Their listening for the day is going to be a cool cinematic-style track from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, Origins.
And we're going to talk about how we represent Egypt, given that we know literally nothing about their music.
Yeah.
Which is Dana's chapter in the book.
I also love Origins and have considered work on it, but that's like down the line a ways. I have some other things in the docket first. Yeah. Here it is.
Dana? Yeah, I was gonna say, hold up the copy of the book again. Music in the role-playing game. Heroes and Harmonies.
So good. But yeah, a lot of these I've been very excited. A lot of these are things that like Julianne gave the FF4 chapter as an Akbagum paper, right?
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for that to come out ever since. Like, it was just such a brilliant and well-delivered paper. Oh yeah, Dr. Olson, we'll throw all the stuff. There's so many good publications that could inform the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, totally. We have a lot of literature out there.
Let me go to my bookshelf and hold up some more things.
I know, it's like, if I could reach my bookshelf, but some of my stuff's in my work office, unfortunately. Julianne, I really like the Outcast. Shout out. I mean, anything in the Rutledge series. I alternate between saying Rutledge and Routledge. It depends on the day, but the music and screen media series, anything in that is going to be super useful. The pink book, the green book.
This is the so-called pink book. The back is pink.
Yeah.
This was the first such collection, music and video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, studying play.
Yeah, this one's great.
I don't know. I would think that the Neil's chapter in the Donkey Kong and
that's in the pink book. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of the really early. No, I'm thinking of the really early, the one that he did on the origins of early video game sound. What's that in the cinema studies? Oxford Handbook. Which Oxford Handbook?
I don't remember. Look up Neil. Anything by Neil Lerner. He works on early game sound. He tends more like arcade, but very, very useful. He was on my dissertation committee. He's amazing. Also, just a wonderful human being.
Yeah, he's great.
It was definitely in Oxford. That chapter I'm thinking of was an Oxford chapter. I swear. Maybe I'm wrong.
I have it, but I can't think of what it's in. This one is also covering. This is Mario's Dynamic Leaps: Musical Innovations in the Spectre of Early Cinema in Donkey Kong and Super Mario Bros. So he kind of takes like a.
Yeah, no, that's a super chapter. It's a super good chapter. I taught with that. It's really quite good.
I think one of the standouts in the pink book.
I think it's the Oxford Handbook on film music.
Yeah, it might be.
Honestly, is the other chapter by him that I'm thinking of. But in terms of the NES, and if you get into the gosh, I'm trying to think of what I just lost my head on.
Sorry about being sick and dying, by the way, team.
How are you feeling? I'm so sorry.
So also, Karen has a chapter in the pink book on Civilization 4, which a lot of us end up citing. Because really, there's been a lot of work on that kind of stuff, and that's a beautiful beautiful chapter. And then the other favorite of mine in this book is Elizabeth Medina Gray's Legend of Zelda stuff.
Yeah, the modularity stuff.
It's so good. It's so good.
But then you have the Michael Austin book that you're in, Dana. With
it's in my stack. Don't worry.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I did not mean to jump ahead. I apologize. Yeah. Carry on.
So we have. It's got a silver bit here, but it's music, video games, performance, politics, and play.
That's
another edited collection. And it's got a lot of fun stuff. We have my chapter in here is on Mario Paint Composer, and like the YouTube community that's sprung up around that. I also really enjoy. There's so many good ones in here. The Beat It chapter by Melanie Frisch on Michael Jackson's Moonwalker is really fun.
Yeah, I like her work a lot. I don't know. I have issues teaching Michael Jackson anymore.
Well, I don't know that I would teach that chapter, but I think it's a good read.
Oh no, her work is great. No doubt about that at all. I'm trying to figure out. There were a couple of other more obscure edited collections that I ended up finding for class that had a couple of really interesting chapters in them. I'm looking them up real quick.
Well then, so this was like I think the first major edited work in the field, just the Ludomusicology volume.
Yes.
By McGill, Tim, and Mark. Edited
that
by.
One, like our European colleagues tend to be, is a little bit more theoretical and a little bit less case study.
Yeah, it's true.
But there's some really useful things here.
Hey, are we about to get a new tune, Karen?
I think we're close, if you're where I think you are, yeah. Unless this is Yeah, this is the Vibrato Castle, right?
Yes, Vibrato Castle.
Yeah, listen to this. Check this out. Can we just
that's
kill
cool.
Yeah, kill these baddies and then let's listen to this. I love this theme because of the different way that she does the vibrato rather than the echo, and the lack of the noise channel. It's such a contrast to what's come before.
Especially in this type of space. Like, there are a lot of spaces, like the Guru theme, that don't use noise, but it's really striking in a dungeon.
Yeah.
So good. Boom, boom, boom.
This is insane.
Yeah, it's so good.
What is happening?
And then we get that loop.
It's so seamless, you know? It's like there's enough weird stuff happening.
It's like everything in her stuff. It's like you know it looped, but you're not always sure where, and it keeps the attention, but it never gets in the way of your gameplay.
Correct.
Sorry, I didn't mute to type.
It's all good.
I
need to get through this gap in the floor.
I don't always remember. And then while we're kind of going through some of the greatest hits here, I have to mention William Chang's gorgeous book, Soundplay.
Yeah. Everything
William Chang writes just makes me want to be better.
He's a very good writer, but keep in mind, like, for this work that we're talking about, it's not necessarily as useful to understand certain eras of sound, but it's very, very important to understand the cultural implications of how this sound works and why and how it exists in cultural spaces.
It's just a good read. Like, I wouldn't necessarily teach from it, but I have taught a little bit from it.
I taught the chapter on the Lord of the Rings Online. And we paired that to talk about doing ethnographic studies, and it was a really good way of getting my students to loop back around to the topic of like chatting in online spaces and online safety and gamer culture. And
I've taught that one too for the same reason.
Yeah. Like, I was having a really interesting conversation today with one of my best friends from home and his wife, and he has 3 kids, so she's the stepmom, and the middle one, he's a gamer. Like, he's big into games, and we've talked about this his whole life, so he knows me, and he knows that I work on games and stuff, but he didn't believe that Gamergate had happened, that it was real. And so they had a little sit-down chat, and he went and did some research and came back and was just like, oh my goodness, it's so toxic, it's terrible. But like,
yeah,
they have to talk to them a lot about being a teenage boy and living in online gaming spaces. It's complicated.
I'm trying to think, is there any other, like, those are kind of my greatest hits. I mean, there's isolated chapters in a lot of other places, but, like, in terms of just, like, things to dive into and really enjoy that have been written in the field.
Yeah, and I mean, those are just the edited volumes. Like, if we're talking about individual articles that I think would be really useful, like getting into Will Gibbons' stuff, like the Blip Blue Box.
Well, and his book, that's the one I didn't mention. There we go.
Yeah.
Unlimited Replays, kind of, he has a whole chapter that sort of, like, redoes the Blip Blue Bach article.
It's true, but that article is still really useful.
Yeah, that article's classic. I think, like, we all teach it.
Oh yeah, totally. That one is really useful. I'm trying to, like, listen to this amazing track and also comb through my bibliography. But, like, a lot of us go back to even the Axel Stockberger and the Zach Whalen articles, which are so old now, but they were really useful in giving us a language back in the day.
Yeah, Whalen. I still cited Whalen in my diss. I didn't think it was too old. Like,
no, I don't think it's too old. It's just that it's amazing to see how far our language has come since he was pioneering some of this stuff. And the same thing with the Axel Stockberger and the sound icons and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I think is really important. Will's work, definitely. Like, Christine Jorgensen's stuff is good. Isabella Van Elferen has some good, interesting things. I love Pete Smucker's drunk article.
Oh my god, me too.
The drunk article is so much fun. I love it.
I loved it from the second he gave it at NACFGM. I was like, I can't believe this.
I know, and I was so excited that was when I was doing my Bard's Tale that led into that chapter in the RPG book, and he was just like, oh my goodness, you're talking about alcohol and I don't have it in my paper. I need to talk to you. And I sent him my stuff, and that's why, like, the Bard ended up in there, which I was really happy that it ended up in that paper.
I loved his talking about class differences.
Yeah, totally.
Like, well, his Kentucky Route Zero paper was really good.
I know. Is he published? Did he publish it? He didn't publish that anywhere, did he?
He's been working on it, but I don't think it has a particular.
That's fine.
That's too bad, because that was so good.
He'll get there. He's just been through.
Yes, he will.
Yeah. And like, I think he's also being affected by the same hurricane that's affecting Kevin tonight. So
well, let's hope everybody is okay and all of like, stuff is just stuff, but I still hope all their stuff is okay. It's like to have to rebuild stuff would be horrifying. So hopefully everybody, bark is worse than its bite, and maybe it misses everyone.
Right. And Julianne, I agree. We do need to be sponsored by Redbubble and Rutledge. Rutbubble.
Uh-oh. I skipped something.
I'm ready.
I love Nick Cook. Another person I think just writes really well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't say that, like, I don't teach Nick Cook. I think it gets a little dense. Like, you have to read for a long time to get things you can latch onto. But it's all very useful and interesting. But, some of the ways that he helped me think through, like, image and sound work together or juxtaposed or antagonizing one another. I sort of like how he flushes all that out. Yeah, Rutledge has been making some smart choices with what they're publishing.
And that's the thing, it's like, I don't want us to get so oversaturated on edited volumes, because Dana, you're looking at doing one, and so am I. And we go back to the other theme here, which I think was an interesting choice.
Yes,
by
I
the
agree.
way. So we're back to a familiar theme, but then when we get through this area and we get into the last stages, we're going to want to listen carefully. So you're kind of going to have this theme a little bit in your brain.
I think this is the final area, right?
It is, but then you have to get to like the last boss area.
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
I meant.
yeah.
An edited collection in addition to the monograph, or did we have the stuff wrong from last week?
Wait, I'm sorry, what now?
I'm asking Dr. Olson. Says
Sorry.
he's doing an edited collection as well. I'm curious what that's about. Well, if you need contributors.
I think my Twitch just froze. I haven't seen anything in a while.
Sorry, I've been reading my guide.
No,
I gotta figure out
think
what
I'm frozen.
to do.
Oh,
you also-
yeah.
Yes,
I can hear you.
we've lost Karen specifically.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
I got
I
you.
don't know why that keeps
I
happening to
am
us.
frozen.
I got you.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Happy death.
So Julianne, does that mean that you just don't read any of the chapters before you publish them, or
They're back.
what's the
I'm
anthology?
frozen.
No, you're frozen immediately. What?
Hold on. Are you speedrunning? What is happening on this computer that I cannot... Ah! It's not that.
Oh, Final
Everything is
Fantasy
frozen.
VII. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not it's frozen. It's my computer. No, and like I'm trying to tell you, it's not you. It's my computer. Yeah,
Drum Ultima's rating with a party of 12. We have to start saying smart things. Let's see, what have you missed on?
But I'm frozen.
Yeah, Karen's still frozen, but I think we can still hear her. Hi, Sigma Beta.
Yeah, you.
Oh
can
wow,
see me.
wow, so many good faces.
And I can't see it. It sucks. I can't see anything. I'm getting there. My computer's sort of waking up, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
sorry,
good.
I turned my microphone off to cough a bunch. I'm dying. I'm alive
sorry,
now,
Ryan.
though. I'm living.
So good.
Once we
I'm
finish
going
with this
to-
game, honestly, we can call it early and you can go to bed.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I love it. I love that moment. It never gets old, no matter how many times we loop.
Yeah, I agree
True.
with that. Ah! Alright, let's do this. Loser monsters die.
Oh, so Doug, you'll appreciate. One of the things that we have made a theme of this game is the use of the noise channel.
Oh yeah.
And how it's really smartly deployed in that, like a lot of NES games, it kind of relies on the same pattern in most measures. But she almost does like fills, where at the end of a passage, it'll suddenly be like a really rhythmically active, interesting, different thing. So she's really shaking it up here, which I love, and Karen loves, and we all just, you know.
It's true, I love it.
All hail Jun Takuma.
Yes, please. Follow her on the Twitter and listen to her amazing, interesting Arabic compositions.
And soon enough here, how far are we from the end?
If
We're
I would
very
know,
close.
if I would know exactly where I'm going, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. We are gonna
Catch. I don't.
We're gonna upload. I did a bunch of transcriptions of some of the music from the first half of the game, so after we get through the end here, we're gonna go back, pull up my scores, and sort of talk through some of the tracks in a little bit more detail. So you'll get to see some fun things if you stay tuned. Oh yeah, it is totally. It's like Persona 5 up in here. It's just a lot of like penis monsters. We talked about that last week, right? The penis monster. I think there were pictures shared. What's the ointment? There's a when you heal, you pick up like a healing potion. It says something. What is it like? I am free from injury because of the ointment. So good. Where's Karen? I think we lost Karen.
Yeah, maybe we did. I don't know how to do
Here
this
it is,
boss.
yeah.
Hold
I'm
on.
free from injury
Let's find out.
because of the ointment. Ain't we all?
Alright. Well.
Wait, what did we do? Karen says she's totally frozen. Okay, so she's rebooting, so we'll see Karen back in a moment. Julianne. Doug was like, hey Karen, can I see your VGM class syllabus lol? And Julianne goes, why Karens? We all have one.
I have an insane idea.
Wink food, I love it. Damn, it's so difficult. The boss isn't even like showing up properly. It's like too many things happening on the screen. I can't handle it.
Right?
That is a big sprite, to be fair.
It's probably. It looks like it's composed of at least 4 sprites.
Yeah. Game's like.
Okay, wait. How many times do I have to hit this mother? Look, I cheated.
I know.
Fuck. That's what I have to say about this. Can't even cheat properly.
Lulling.
Okay, I can just use the wing boots right away. That's right. Get wrecked. Okay.
The power of the ointment is gone. Fuck. So good. Hopefully we'll have Karen back soon.
Oh, look at me now.
Oh!
Hell
Now you're
yeah.
wearing armor.
That's good. I feel good
You're
about
like-
life now.
You're like a magic knight now. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Sorry, Dana. I bumped us back to try and make sure I could, try and
Totally
get Karen
fine.
back. Alright. Well, I feel good about this. That's good. Julianne, when I got that battle helm and battle suit, the blade lets me use all that cool stuff. Now I need to go... I'm at the room with the mean-looking snake dude. I need to
Am I
go
back?
4.
Yeah!
Yes, you are back. Good.
Yay!
Hey, I beat that ugly dragon, and now I have armor and a big sword.
Yes, you do, and I love the little penis worms. I got back in time for the penis worms.
Yeah!
Yeah, you did.
You know.
Well, look, good timing. The only thing is, the crazy thing is that I lost the entire Twitch chat history, so I don't know what we were talking about.
Well,
I can't see it.
I'll give you a quick rundown here.
I just want to point out that the very first thing I see in the Twitch chat is, how are we finally not naked? And I would really like to know where that came from.
Because I'm wearing armor now.
Because he has armor on. And then I said it's like reverse Metroid. So let's see. There was more talk about ointment in all caps. And Julianne wrote, Karen is not free from injury because of the ointment in all caps.
It's true. My ointment did not, in fact, help me in any way.
And then Doug asked to see your video game music class syllabus, and then Julianne said, why Karens? We all have one.
I only have a half-finished one. I promised my students to be done by tomorrow. They have the first 6 weeks, and then I was like, I'm too sick. I'll finish the rest of it later.
Doug, I don't want to see Karens. Well, fine, Doug.
I would be happy to send it to you.
Alright, Demon's Ring. I have done it. I am the best.
If there's one thing y'all need to learn from these streams, it's that we will send you basically any of our work if you ask for it. Like, just email us.
Oh yeah, copies of anything that we have. Dissertations, articles, book chapters,
yeah,
things, syllabi,
like,
you got it.
We totally get the academic paywall nonsense. It's not like we see money from most of these things. So.
No, in fact, most of us are actively trying to subvert the academic publishing industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like,
I don't give a midterm, Sigma Beta. Sorry, I have no midterms.
Yeah, I don't tend to midterm either. I just make them do a lot of writing and a lot of analysis, even though they're non-major. I'm like, suck it, you're gonna use music all the time. They seem to enjoy it though, because I make it pretty low stakes. You know, it's like I want them to try and screw up the lingo and fail and try again.
I mean, all of us have basically looked at each other's syllabi over the years to try to make our own. So I've looked at Dana's, and I think Ryan's maybe, definitely.
Matthew Thompson is where most of mine came from. I
was going to say Matthew Thompson for sure, and Bill O'Hara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Will Gibbons sent me a couple of his.
I haven't looked at any of his, but I looked at Bill's.
I definitely referenced Dana's and Julianne's to make my first one a couple years ago.
So, one of the things that I was saying right when I got frozen was that we were talking about oversaturation of the market with edited volumes, and I was just thinking,
yes.
Dana, you and Michael are trying to do yours. I have one in mind, but isn't Jesse also working on one? Jesse Kinney?
On what?
Oh, you remember? He talked about it at NACFIGM. It was on, like, rock music. Wasn't he working with Bill?
I have a vague memory, but I haven't heard anything. So
I haven't heard anything
I don't know.
either.
He started a new job, so that's probably why.
Yes, he did?
Yeah, that's a good reason for not hearing from somebody.
Yeah.
Where is he? I forget.
Julianne, do you remember where he is? We both liked his post, but now I can't remember. Alabama or something?
Ew.
Let's look.
I don't remember. But no, I wanted to touch base with him about that because it definitely seemed like something... Yeah, it was something I was interested in contributing to, but I also thought I sent Jesse my paper from NACFIGM, and he's doing more work on that topic, and I'm kind of like, we haven't talked. I'd like to talk with you about how our stuff overlaps. I'm gonna need to get a hold of him.
Okay.
Haha, yes, please pitch that. But also, you're gonna have to work with Bill on that, because I love his work on the rock tropes in Mega Man.
Yeah, this is why I never wrote a Mega Man chapter, even though I know that music better than just about anything, is I just don't know what I would say about it, other than, am I right? It's great! I have so many things transcribed, and, like, still have just never, like, had my aha moment of what I want to talk about.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's the same thing with me, like, I'm sitting here loving on Junji Kuma's music, and I haven't quite figured out what I would want to say about it.
Right.
So yeah, that is accurate. It'll just be transcription, and diary entries. With lots of little, like, eyes dotted with hearts. How good at
this
moment. I have bad news for folks. Those doors right there is where I need to go next to finish the game. But I've got to go back and get a pair of wing boots or I can't do it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you didn't have keys. Should check
that one half dozen of the other at this point.
Yeah, it's still a ways.
So, what's sad is I had to use 2 pairs of wing boots on that stupid boss a minute ago. He just didn't play fair.
Yeah,
it's
really transcriptions.
It's nice to have the full suit of armor, though.
Yes, it is. I agree with that entirely.
I missed some of it. Do you have the last sword?
I do. That's the boss I fought to facilitate me putting on...
That's what I thought. Everything was frozen and I was sad.
I'm gonna grab another drink. I actually might do like a gin, like rose thing.
As well you should. Join me in the wild
Okay, sure. I'll be right back.
Sounds like a plan. Alright, so how many towns back do I have to go is the question. Let's find out.
Julianne, I love your chapter. I got into a conversation earlier this summer with Steve about tetrachords and video game music, and it was amusing. And all I know is that it ended up with me finding the most amazing GIF of ancient Greek philosophers headbanging with boomboxes.
That sounds fun.
It was fun. It was a good day.
I like that I can one-hit stuff now.
Yeah.
This is good.
Especially, like, those beastly things and all the other bad dudes that really mess you up.
Speaking of which, can I actually pull this off? Kind of, is the answer. Oh, maybe not. No. I need 1 hit's worth of health. I need to not get hit by something here. Ah, come on.
Why are we talking to the prosumbaminos? It's like my favorite word.
Okay.
I have to go back and read all these.
Actually, I think I told some of you that my, our new student who's going to be both my teaching assistant and RA for the semester, right? Mm-hmm. Who's the video game composer, is really also into medieval music all of a sudden. Which he only apparently realized while prepping to do his entrance placement exams the other day. So he's doing all this, like, review work on his own, and he's listening to the Epitaph of Seikilos, and he's just like, this is my jam. I love this. Can you give me more to read on music and antiquity? So I was like, yes, I can. Nice. And also, I think we're going to get along so well. So I gave him, Thomas Thiessen's book on Apollo's Lyre, and I was like, start with that. And, you know, it's 20 years old at this point, but not that many people work on, comparatively speaking, not as many people work on music in ancient Greece, at least written in English that's comprehensible at this stage. Right. So start there, and we'll talk, and I can send you more, but I'm really excited because since he gets to be my RA for the semester, as well as prepping out next semester's class, I'm just sort of like, all right, you're about to become a medievalismist and you don't know it.
Medievalismist.
Medievalismist.
That's what I do. That's what I do, Karen.
That's what I do. It's like, I am a medievalist because I study medieval studies, but I'm a medievalismist because I study medievalism.
Yeah.
So I feel very strongly that these are two separate but complementary things, and I'm happy to do both of those things, and I feel that he is going to find himself thinking along those terms because I'm going to have him working with me on, for example, Dana, maybe like working on some literature, compiling some more literature that would be useful in the gender paper that I'm going to give to you. Stuff like that. I think it's going to be really interesting. I've never had an RA, so...
Yeah, that's exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I should have more on that. That's like in my immediate to-do list, is to have some more conversations about getting that shipped off.
Yeah, I mean, just keep me posted, because like I said, there was no way I was going to make your deadline this summer, the way the world, but
none of us were. I mean, I was so burned out, I wouldn't have been able to.
yeah. And at this point, it's like I'm looking at what's ahead for the semester, and it's enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It seems like timing-wise, it's actually kind of working out well that things have gotten pushed back.
It definitely is for me, because I still feel like there's a lot of theorizing I need to do, and study, just general study and absorption that needs to happen before I can write the chapter that I want that chapter to be.
Yeah. I know that feel.
Yeah, like I think my paper in Akvigam was alright, but it was not yet sufficient. It couldn't have been in that time frame. It needs to be more.
I just messaged him.
Nice. I mean, but he's having a time of it. I don't know. Is he affected by this hurricane too? I don't know what the spread of it was supposed to be.
I don't know. I mean, I know the Florida people are.
Yeah.
All right.
I just, anytime I hear any sort of bad weather down there, I automatically think Louisiana is gonna just
Yeah, same.
underwater.
Possible.
I don't know. I just think the entire stream, anybody who views us, however frequently or whatever have you, everybody needs to come to Nakfika.
Yeah, everyone.
agreed.
Everyone in the world.
We need to come in like a day early and just do our Thursday night stream from Ithaca.
I mean, we did the stream from your place, and it was really fun.
It was outrageously good.
It was hard to get us all on a couch, but, you know.
We were not all on
We're
the couch.
friendly though. That's not a problem.
Yeah, we were having a good time. Yeah, we really would love to see you. Aaron!
Yeah.
I always feel like I want to say the whole name. Alright, Aaron! Like, Game Girl Squad style.
Aaron Threed.
Alright, now I just have to go back to that room with the 3 doors and we can finish this, by the way. Is there a separate tune, Karen, for the end castle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's so good. Because keep in mind, you've been listening to all of these tracks for however long now. 2 weeks. Right?
Yeah.
So when you finally hit that final castle theme, you're gonna understand its glory.
Alright. Arrow's usually gone everywhere. Oh, interesting. I love finding out, like, where people get their names. Like, especially if you ask people about old, like, AOL Instant Messenger names and stuff.
Yeah.
Or, like a first email address before you had a professional one. Like, some of the dumb things that we all pick.
I've pretty much always been Cookster in some format. The tag along to the Cookster has varied over the years, but it has almost always been Cookster.
Oh, new tune.
Was that a nickname?
Yeah, listen to this. Check this out.
I'm just gonna stop for a minute and read my map. You guys chat.
Listen to this. It's everything we've been listening to, but like inverted.
Mm-hmm. I should have transcribed this one. Didn't have time. Everything moves in exactly the opposite direction.
Just about. But there are parts of it that don't. They move exactly the same. So it's like she might invert the melodic lines, but keep the bass line the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's so good.
It is so good.
I love that, like, harmonically it still all makes sense. But it's such a different, twisted version of what we were just listening to.
Also, Julianne, Peachy Queen. I love it. I had some pretty stupidly embarrassing ones.
Okay, we're gonna try this, team.
Try it.
I missed parts of the aim. Joe and I just played Emily is Away too when we were at his mom's house for the weekend. And I mean, we played because I was like next to him on the couch and like we both agreed on the path to take. So
I just love that you're like, my first email was in 7th grade, and I'm like, my first email was in college. This was just not part of my experience. Oh, love it. So I never had a crazy email because I never existed during times when that would happen to people. I did have an AOL dial-up account, though. I am dial-up years old.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, badass. I always thought this guy looked like the creature from Alien.
It was a little bit of Mother Brain inspo.
And it's not even that hard of a final boss. It's just not.
Alright, there we go. That's the game.
I have
The trick there, by the way, is to reach the boss with the ointment, so
it's not over, Dr. Olson.
So you can touch him and
It's
be done.
never over.
It's not over because we're gonna go back and look at some of the tracks with my transcriptions.
Yes, we will, and I can pull up YouTube links for the music, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that would be
This
good.
game is never over. As long as there are pants, it lives forever.
As long as there's ointment.
Whatever that means.
As long as there are pants and ointment and penis monsters.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find
No.
Dana's upload on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I messaged you a Google Drive.
Like, watch him walk out, and the water's flowing, and the trees are green. Look at that. Look at like the graphics.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I'm a fan.
is.
It's pretty, and it's sparse, and it's so 1987.
And it's the opening theme again, getting a little reprise. It does have a little tag at the end that makes it a closing theme. But otherwise, it's exactly the intro theme.
Yep. Alright. So, what track do you want to look at first, Dana?
We want to just go in order and start with the opening theme, since that's kind of what we're listening to right now.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's different. Pretty sparse, so 1987 me in a sentence. Love it.
Alright, how do I download everything in a Google Drive folder?
Right click
I got
the
it.
arrow.
Hold on, download.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear, I know the game says 88. I don't know why, but I'm convinced in a part of my brain that it came out in 87. And it's like, I'm willing to fight Hudson Soft about this.
Nice.
But I'm also
You don't know
not,
when it
because
came out.
I'm fairly certain that they're correct. It's just like, I don't know why.
I just painted my nails for my wedding shower on Saturday. The nice thing about doing it 2 days in advance is I can be a little messy about it, and then, like, I don't know, the stuff that ends up on the side of my nails can just kind of flake off in the shower.
Nice.
I'm really not great at nail polish. Never have been. This is going to be fun. Notice I put Faxanadu for you.
Yes,
in
I
the
see that.
folder title.
Alright, so I'm gonna close
Faxanadu.
RetroArch. Right?
Yep.
Boop.
This is going to be fun.
It is gonna be fun. We'll be, like, responsible for a change. Check this out. Hold on.
No, I feel so accomplished. Nothing makes me feel more like I actually am a musicologist, which I don't always feel that way very often. But nothing makes me feel more that way than transcriptions. My jam.
Yeah, Dana's the real deal, team. It's,
It's true.
uh-oh. I don't want it transparent. What's that doing?
Here's Dana's hard work, invisibly.
Right?
It's because it's a PNG, isn't it?
Yeah, hold on.
I see it. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You just do like a white background, or yeah, I guess the PDF maybe.
Ryan.
Oh, this is exciting. Yeah, I thought about that when I was saving them. I'm like, I wonder if transparency will be an issue, but MuseScore doesn't export natively to JPEG, so I didn't bother. The nice thing about doing that is you could click through to the second page, which is kind of nice.
Let's do this with this. And then I'll just cast monitor 2 onto the stream.
This is exciting. Oh my god, transparencies were my favorite. When they would bring in the cart with the projector, I was always
yeah, and the markers and everything, and you could wipe them off, but if you used the permanent marker, your life ended that day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like using the wrong marker on the dry erase board, like
totally
do it.
All right, Dana, how's this looking?
It's very small, but you can see it.
It needs to be taller, I think.
I'm working.
Taller. Yeah. Don't we all?
What if we do this? There.
Makes it bigger.
Like, is there a way to have the whole page in the center there? I don't know.
Like this?
Yeah. Can that get bigger?
And then could that go behind us? I don't know. I don't know much about the actual on-stream stuff.
Yes, watch this. We bump this down. See, like this. Now Karen's in front of it.
Yeah.
What I cannot do is I can't separate the black from the sheet music here. You're stuck with
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. But I was thinking that way you could make it like.
Right. So now we can page through pieces here.
Yeah.
So here's the opening piece. The right.
Yeah.
I always felt that happened on a different beat. I don't know why.
Let's load that up.
Yeah, it's I make no promises that I.
No, I believe you.
accurate.
She's like, it's weird how we all will hear things in different ways.
Now, because I definitely heard 4 beats of it. It's just everybody joins.
Yeah, I always heard the first 16th note as being empty, and it was just a rest and then the flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one more time. I hear a click before I hear notes.
They count off with the noise channel. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so let's call it a 5/4. So we're gonna edit my stuff as we go. Let's call it a 5/4 bar then.
No, it's not a 5/4.
It's not?
No. The first note just doesn't exist, Dana.
It's just a rest.
Yeah.
When I isolated the channel, I heard it though.
Really? Maybe it's just that the noise channel and that pitch are so similar that it sounds like a rest.
That could well be the case.
I did all of this channel by channel, so I didn't.
I believe you. Yeah, that's why it surprised me. Like, I know how you work, so it surprised me. I'm like, wait a second, there's no note there. I love that she actually has these melodies. And they're so not the most important thing.
And then we get like a little implied key change.
Like you can hardly tell that there's a longer melody in there.
Right.
Listen, look at that pulse channel too.
Ryan,
like what is that ending? That chord is not
That's fun.
what you expect.
So yeah, I know, right? It's like a 3rd, but not. Do you have the ability, Ryan, to isolate channels here again?
No, I do not. I'm on RetroArch.
Poop. Nestopia. If you're using Nestopia to run emulators, you can isolate the channels really well in Nestopia. I use that to teach with. And my students have done transcriptions using Nestopia to isolate the channels, and it's been really fun.
Okay, and Julianne's totally right. That ending is a mistake.
It's not, though. I like it.
Nice.
Oh, hold on.
We just listen to the ending?
We can.
No, I have to listen to the whole thing.
Oh.
It comes out of nowhere, though. It really does.
But I think it's like a weird, Picardy third.
Dr. Olson, did you ask what programs we're using a minute ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana works... Really, she's just baller. She's got a good ear, and she uses Nestopia to isolate channels.
No, I use Audio Overload.
Oh, because you do it in the NSF, right?
Because I do NSF, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if I'm having trouble, which actually I was pretty proud of myself. Most of this one I didn't have to do too much with. I have been known to export isolated channels to WAV and then open that in Audacity so that I can slow down things without changing pitch. And so for some of the really flourishy stuff, although this one I was actually impressively picking out chords better. There were only a couple measures I had to really check in that, so I must be getting better at this. But interestingly, oh wait, go back to 1 for a second.
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were ready to move on.
No, it's fine.
Not quite. So go to the key change moment.
Yeah.
Just want to note the exciting little thing that we're in B major, and then it's just like a little bit of mode mixture, and I love that because we go to B minor. I think that's on the second to last page.
Here's the second to last page.
So good.
Yeah, there it is.
Good.
Yep.
Mode mixture. It's what made Beethoven so great. Just saying.
Is that really how that works?
I have an infinite number of rude and snarky things I want to say right now, but in front of a public, I would not. I want both of you two and Julianne, though, to know that if it was just us and not like an audience where I want to feel half professional, I would be a total smartass to you right now.
I think you should unleash the smartass and blame it on your whiskey.
Because I wasn't being facetious. I mean, I do think mode mixture is most of the interesting in Beethoven. I think there's like some cool moments that flit between the major and the minor. But what makes Beethoven great is the culture attaching so much meaning to Beethoven.
That's right. It's because he's a dude.
Yeah, we attach so much cultural meaning to Beethoven and can't get like minor details about his existence right. You know, it's fine.
Or God forbid we talk about Clara Schumann for 10 fucking seconds.
I thought you weren't going to get snarky, Ryan.
Hearts to Clara.
All right.
I heart Clara. Give us more Clara.
I actually, a bunch of her lieder I use as sight reading practice with my high schoolers.
As well you should.
Because it's beautiful melodies and it's accessible to like kind of middle, early level violinists. So yeah, I'm all about my Clara Schumann.
Julianne, you are incredibly incorrect about Beethoven's mom making him sandwiches.
Lol.
I love it.
Doesn't know that tweet was Julianne retweeted somebody that found out that Thoreau's mom owned the land that Walden
right
on, and like would bring him sandwiches, and so everyone's view of that is now ruined.
Did you ever read the children's book when you were a kid, like My Side of the Mountain or whatever it was called, where that kid ran away and his dad was just like, whatever, it's fine. You know, he's 8, but he'll live through the winter living in a tree like you do.
Right.
And this kid
like
went off and lived. Yeah. And I'm just like, that is infinitely more badass than Thoreau.
Yeah, it is.
Going off to his property.
I was really
thrown with catering
by that tweet.
All right, do you guys want to move on to Mantra, track 2?
Yes, please, for my pants' sake. For the
Julianne
sake of my
or Single Beta needs to give me some love for saying I was thrown by the tweet.
Yeah, that was good.
It's my good organ.
It's totally an organ texture, 3 voices.
I feel like this is the most traditional of all the tracks on the soundtrack.
Just about.
What I love about that is we talked about in one of those later tracks in the game the way she's bringing in the texture and it gets more and more broad.
Yep.
So we start out with triangle in an upper register on the ostinato and just the pulse 1, and then we bring in pulse 2 and flesh out the harmony, and then we drop the triangle down an octave.
I like what just happened, that crazy mixtured chord that we just heard. What the hell was that?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I know, I love it. It's like you're expecting that major moment and it's minor and you're like, what?
Oh wait, I didn't jump back far enough. Hold on. Here.
I love that like retard that she built in though. It's so good.
What is going on there? That's awesome.
I think it's organy timbre with it and for this era and for this track. I think it's I think you recognize it as organ timbre even though it doesn't sound like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this moment here, by the way.
Love the markup. Yeah, like all of a sudden you're just like,
this chord
wait a minute
is bonkers. It's just awesome. The other thing I want to highlight about this piece, let's go back to the beginning for a minute. duh. You want it to go down so badly. And like almost every other composer would have been lazy and just put it down. And here it goes back up and does interesting things afterwards. Here it is again. Da-na-na-na-na. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want that to go down, and I'm really pleased that it doesn't, right?
A little delayed resolution there.
Almost like a cheating syncopated transition.
Yeah, it's totally just a texture for the organ. Like, it's not timbrely organ.
I still see. I think it is to an extent within the bounds of recognition.
With the
Right.
very
Like,
Also, this
specific
stuff
maybe.
here, that's a total organ move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, the motion, all the counterpoint, all the melodic, everything, the arpeggios, the bass, everything is organ.
Yeah,
But
do
if
you
we're
like how
talking about
elegant my
timbre-
drawing is, by the way? I'm so good
Yeah, I
at
love
this.
it.
It's like playing Scrabble or Parcheesi, you all. Anyway,
Right.
no, what I was gonna say was like, if you hear this timbre, right? What other instrument would you assign? It's not vocal. It's not brass. It's not plucked strings. It's not bowed strings.
Maybe woodwinds.
I think this is one of the strongest arguments for NES as 3-voice pipe organ I've ever heard.
This is the thing. To me, this is organ timbre, even though it sounds nothing like an organ. It represents organ more than any other timbre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very keyboardy.
And this,
Hold on, we gotta switch
Absolutely.
over first, right?
Gotta switch to that one.
This is the King's Castle.
yeah.
It's not pipey. It's definitely a very particular stop on an organ.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we can quibble
Just
over that, but I don't
trembling.
think it's meant to be that specific of a representation. It's just that you know it's an organ, even though you know it's not an organ.
You're
Because
just gonna
there isn't,
open the
there
rest
isn't
of them.
anything else it is.
I'm just gonna open the rest of them really quick.
Yeah, that's smart.
But it's like, we're sitting here talking about flute timbre, and like I talk about vocal timbre and things like that, where it's like, it's not a voice, but it's meant to evoke a voice. This is
what
meant
it
to
is,
evoke organ.
It's an organ with only the woodwind stops on.
That's what I was searching for. Thank you. I don't know enough about organ. I knew there was
all of
a
the
stop that
brass
had
and all
that
of
kind
the
open
3/4
sound.
stops are off in that timbre. That's just the flute 4, the flute 8, and the flute 16.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And Julianne, I mean, who's to say what I would have heard or thought about it if I had never played the game and didn't realize it was taking place in a churchy temple guru place? Because I think it's like, it's a collective.
So now we get a nice little 12/8 track, which is kind of plodding, but regal, right?
The bass really helps have that
Oh,
regal
yeah.
feel.
It's an utter processional. It's totally a processional.
It sounds like it
Yeah.
would fit in really well at the end of the game, actually. Like,
Which is where it comes back, yeah.
and this is where it comes back, because you go to the king, and then you're like, sweet.
Yep.
This is
Not
very
much to say about that one. I think it's it doesn't have a lot of surprises harmonically. It's also very organy because of the timbre.
There's something about the lowest, the triangle, the triplet repetition that's like twitching in my brain, but I don't really know how to formulate what I want to say about it.
It reminds me of other kind of fanfare and like, yay, you've reached the end of the game tracks from this era.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, if anything, this track of all the tracks reminds me most of like Dragon Warrior, when you open it up and you go and you talk to the king, and it's that opening. Not at all
Yeah.
timbrely.
Hey, I want to talk about something here. Look at the bass, since I've got magic whiteboard powers. I want to talk about our, like, slap bass
Yeah.
notes.
It's those.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
this is not a keyboard-based move. This is a funk bass. I'm serious.
No, I know,
Uh,
it's totally
jump.
true. And she's got roots in pop music. Like, she did drum and bass, or like acid, or whatever it was. She was into that, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm so intrigued by her use of the percussive sounds and the noise channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she builds in those little drum groove licks, like we're talking about, these little drum breaks. It's what
Right.
you would do in rock, in the kinds of genres of rock that I think she was more familiar with.
Alright.
This
Where,
track 3 is so good.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if we want to. Oh,
Hold on, I gotta clear out my whiteboard. Alright.
this one slaps, y'all.
I love the syncopation here. And most of the syncopations feel pretty normal. It's this one that gets you. This section.
I know, because it shifts back by a beat. You know,
Right. It robs you in a way that the others don't.
Keep in mind, she composed this before all of the Bombermans except for the original 1985.
Yeah.
All the Bombermans came after this. And they literally made up almost 90% of her work in video games. She did, like, all the Bombermans, this game, and, like, 4 others. And then decided to go off and play, like, Arabian, Middle Eastern music, which is amazing, and I don't know any of it, but I'm really intrigued, and I can't wait to go find out.
We already looped back, Ryan.
Yeah.
But look how chromatic this melody and the resulting harmony are. Oh, I love it. That moment. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that's so good.
I swear most of my love for this game was in the graphics for its time, the gameplay, I love the
This
idea.
section here, I like that it quits being chromatic just long enough to startle us in the next into the next line.
Everything's like we get the theme twice with a little. Not even a change necessarily. Go on, go to the next part. Love that.
That sounds like a riff from some other game.
Yeah,
And it's probably
yeah,
borrowed.
she did. Yeah, the early Adventure Island and
I love Adventure
something
Island.
else that I'm
We
forgetting.
know this because we shenanigamed Adventure Island for me the one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we did.
I can't get enough of that opening. Na, 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 na. It's like if you slowed it down and put it in a slightly different context, it would be creepy. That chromatic move is creepy, but it works
the
here.
dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we
Like
got?
I've heard that in horror games, right?
Julianne, what is the theory topic that Julianne's referring to? Which one?
Castlevania Death Jingle.
Is that the topic we're talking about?
No, yeah, Julianne's right. Da 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 da. Thank you, Sigma Beta. Thank you so much. I was going to be thinking about that forever.
Shit, it's like. Oh man, so good. So then we get this beautiful Guru Temple. This one took me the least amount of time to transcribe. I didn't have to export anything. I could do it all just by listening.
Right.
Talk about an organ timbre.
This
That's the thing.
is a reception piece. Like as someone arrives, right?
Yeah, this could also be like a...
This is organ as fuck. Yes, it is.
OAF. Yes. I would love for one of us, all of us, you, anyone, to write the Castlevania Death Topic article. Please submit that. I would love to teach that this spring. Get on it.
I was just thinking that you could play that as a wedding. Like, not as the bride, but as the bridesmaids and all the assorted people march down the aisle. You could loop that and have done worse for yourself, honestly.
It's almost like we know someone having a wedding pretty soon.
Right. I'm not suggesting things at all. All right.
I'm actually not going to do video game music for the ceremony. I'm doing like Renaissance stuff. Thanks to Karen, actually. All your suggestions are going to pretty much make the list.
I can't wait to hear
what you so awesome.
So here we get that rare circumstance
here
where the triangle wave is not the bass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as we were mentioning earlier on stream.
How many pieces, like, what percentages of pieces have the triangle wave as the melody? I feel like it's pretty rare.
In this game or in general?
In general, NES.
It's more common than you would think.
Okay.
But often it's like, we'll switch out to it in the middle of in a B section of a piece.
Okay.
It really depends on how versed in assembly language the composer is.
I think it was Sigma Beta that mentioned a different track sounding like it belonged on the Sega Master System. I'm getting that vibe from this
Olsen.
piece.
Dr. Olsen did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dr. Olsen, okay.
I think there was a conversation about Sega Sound, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna pause this so that we can bring up the music. Hold on, I assume Dana
This
did
is
this
the one. That's the one that reminds me of the Gnome Cave theme from Harvest Moon, so maybe we can hop to that after this, just for a second.
What track number is this, Dana?
5. No. Wait.
No.
6? 7. 7.
This is the last one you did, I think.
Yeah, this is the last one I got to today. Because when I heard that we were changing the plan due to the hurricane, I didn't have time to do the full game. Oh. And then the pulse channel too just takes off. So good, and then it jumps right back to what?
So here's the thing about this track that is really interesting to point out. So when you were pointing out that bass motion in the other track,
yep,
those octave leaps, she's doing the same thing here in the triangle channel, and that's the bass voice, right? And that comes straight out of disco. That comes out of drum and bass. That comes out of
this type of motion is also an organ figuration, right?
Here's that C section after doing 2 full repeats of the A part.
Yep.
I just love this section.
And notice I put a DC in there because I wanted to do the internal repeat to save space.
Right. This piece, though, is not on the pipe organ. The other pieces are.
That's exactly why I was like, this piece, yeah, that could be an organ bass, fine, octaves, but that's the same motion you use in disco. It's the same motion.
Yeah, and it's a more disco or funk style here than it is.
I feel very much like she's drawing more on that here. And then the fact that it switches from those octaves to the, that's a total hard rock move, you know?
Yeah, I already uploaded these to Google Drive for everybody for tonight, so I'm a beta, I'll happily send it along. I appreciate credit. Credit's always good.
Alright, that's awesome. Alright, and with that, we are right at 11 o'clock.
Oh, wait.
What's up?
You don't have to play anything, but go back to that one and pull it up. No, you don't have to play anything.
Hold on. You might as well. Here, what do you got?
Alright, I'm trying to find this had an example of the noise channel doing something surprising, but I can't remember where it was. It's somewhere in the...
Okay, so let me ask Dana and Sigma Beta again, the NES folks here. usually you can get away with 3-voice transcription. Here it's a 4-voice one. Which is not to say you've done it wrong. My question is, how rare is it that you have to translate the 4th voice? How often is that noise channel used as music?
What do you mean?
Often that noise channel is reserved for sound effects, so you don't overlap, for instance. A lot of NES music is composed for 3 voices. Here we've got 4. Past couple tracks, you've only had 3, right?
I always, I don't think it's as much about... There's just a lot of music happening. It's hard to formulate my thought.
You see, like, 3 voices here. I suppose there's a noise track used as bass there. 3 voices here, 3 voices here, 3 voices here.
Can you stop the track for a minute? I'm getting a little like, ugh, too much.
Yeah, sorry.
So, and like the simple answer to that is I think the composer kind of does whatever, and then they just make room. I don't think it has anything to do with like avoiding the noise channel in an area where more sound effects might happen. Most of the time it's a stylistic thing, like those kind of castle-y tracks kind of didn't need percussion, so we saved space there. But we're also not going to be preempting for sound effects in those spaces either. So right. I think it's more just they decide to use it or not. We do have a 5th channel available that we often don't need or don't use because it's very costly in terms of space to use it. But often, like, I'm thinking Zelda games, when there's sound effects, they don't preempt the noise channel, they preempt one of the pulse channels. So it kind of depends on the game.
That's true.
So I always assumed it was just, like, stylistic choice by the composer, plus also maybe if they decide, like, I can get by with 3 voices. But I think the organ argument is valid for this one, that we have so many tracks that rely on that 3-voice texture, because we're kind of going for an organ thing. Go back to the 2. Yeah. I guess go back to 1. I must have been thinking of the first one that had the cool moment with the percussion that we were talking about. Yeah, this is the one. This has some fun moments. We just look at the percussion. It's mostly that, but notice like right before the key change, we have dun 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 dun. So like right at the end of the loop, or at the end of the micro loop, as Karen Collins would call it, then we get this little switch up that initially, if I had been lazy, I would have just done the whole thing throughout. But then as I was listening, I was like, wait, that measure's different. Crap. Then I had to export it and figure out where it was different and where and why and how. Because there are just these random measures, usually at the end of a 4-bar phrase, where she slips in something else. And I noticed that in a lot of the tracks, more than I was able to transcribe today. Excuse me. So that's just like a fun little illustration of that moment.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for all this work, Dana. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to see it for the first time ever on paper and just to be like, wow. I know this stuff so well, and to see it is a totally different experience.
I have plans for the rest of it involving Karen's next birthday and like an actual physical book of them. So maybe getting the entire thing transcribed and then sent to you.
Well, if you find yourself with extra transcribing time for next week, I'll bet Kevin would appreciate some insight into Castlevania Bloodlines.
Knowing him, he already has. His transcriptions are also quite good.
That's true.
Because he has a whole way of indicating, which I've thought about doing but haven't needed in the work I've done up till now. He will indicate things about what's switched on in the channels, vibrato settings, delay, that sort of thing. So Kevin does some really elegant transcriptions.
Yeah, he's awesome. I really hope that the weather allows him to do stuff next week with us.
I know.
I'd like to hope.
He doesn't tend to need the same number of transcripts. Like, I often am making an argument directly out of something in the musical texture, so I like to illustrate that. But I feel like he's able to talk around it, and then when he needs it, it's always perfect.
Right.
So he may have some for us. We'll see.
Yeah, next week I'm hoping to bring, of course, Kevin has promised to join us when he can. Again, the hurricane precluded him today. Yeah. If Jarel is still in our audience, I want to bring him on board to talk about the DS game.
Woo!
Because I am almost ready to have a complete save file for the Nintendo DS game where we can just visit every zone and then hear the music, which is awesome. Because that game is twice as long as I remembered it being. Oh god, it's taken me forever to get that save file.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It will be good. We're looking forward to it. We've got some good games coming up in the next couple months with all the remasters. Like we're all looking forward to Link's Awakening.
We're going to do that because that comes out the end of September, right?
Yeah, and that's a game that's near and dear to a lot of folks' hearts.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite Zelda games. I'm sure it's a lot of folks' favorite Zelda games.
We have promised Julianne that we will not do it in the month of September, though it does come out 5 days from now. But Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is going to be the next long game that we do.
Oh, it's on. Just wait till Julianne and I get our claws into that.
And I fessed up to Julianne, but not to Dana, very recently, that I have never finished that game.
You've told me that before. So
My disc
I'm
4 was
excited for us
scratched,
to,
so I've gotten all the way to the end and then cursed up the biggest storm you guys have ever heard.
I would too. That's ridiculous. So yeah, it's
That's going to be awesome.
Very
in
good.
the meantime, for the rest of September, I don't know what we're going to do. We have Castlevania, hopefully next week, and then 3 weeks of us having fun time figuring stuff out.
Woo!
So we will debate amongst ourselves and figure something out. It'll be a good time.
Sounds awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to teach how to use all these broadcasting programs at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, so I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, and please feel better.
yes,
I will
everyone.
make sure to do
Julianne is sick. Everyone's sick.
Yeah.
Yep, I mean, I have drank enough of my whiskey now that I feel like I should be better, right? It's almost gone, so.
That's all you need.
That's totally all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol kills germs, right?
Oh, hold on, though. Did I tell you all at the beginning of the stream I sprinkled some cinnamon in?
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of this is the cinnamon challenge. I can't finish any of that.
Yeah. Nor should you. That was a bad idea. That's why Fireball exists.
Yeah. It was good until, like, the last sip. Oh, man.
Or Goldschlager is cinnamony goodness.
That's like straight up like Halloween candy cinnamon flavor.
Right, this is, like, actual cinnamon spice in the drink. It was good
I
for a while.
love cinnamon. I put cinnamon in my coffee, and I love it.
Use a cinnamon stick next time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially in whiskey, that would be good.
That's how I basically just get like cheaper whiskey and throw cinnamon sticks in there and make my own cinnamon whiskey, and it's glorious.
That is glorious. So
Anyway, I'm going to let everybody go. Thanks for tuning in on a night we're actually prepared. Man, we did pretty well, didn't we?
Yes,
Not too
and
bad.
thank you for finally playing the game that I love.
I know,
Thank
we've
you
been
all
waiting
for
for
tuning in to this, my
I
favorite
know, we've
game.
made Karen wait. She's been with us a year now, I think, on the stream.
Longer than
A
that.
year and a half. And finally got the one game she wanted.
It'll be
Yeah.
another 3 years before Karen gets to pick. No, I'm kidding.
All right, we'll see everybody next week for Castlevania. It's going to be a blast. Thanks for tuning in.
Yay!
Thanks for coming, everyone. Good
Night,
night.
folks.